Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Brittany Travels the World, and I'm gonna show you some things because it's Vata season, and Vata season is really aggravating, especially to Vata people, because it's gonna get all cold and dry, and internally we are already these things. We do not appreciate it at all. So some of the things I do in my routine now is my black family, or the diaspora in general, will probably understand this, is oiliating the body, moisturizing the body, like in beautification and just in body self-care in the black community. Like using good moisturizer is like such an important part of the process. So in Ayurveda, like increases like. So if it's dry and cold in the fall time, and I'm talking about for people who are in the northern hemisphere, you need to counter all that with something warm, grounding, nourishing, heavy, oily, things like that. More, I think that'd be more kapha in nature, kapha and pitta in nature, because of the heat, but the heaviness like would be a kapha quality. So that is what you would need in order to ground the vata that's going to get aggravated at this time. Some things that I do early in the morning before I am even like presenting myself to anybody else, the first thing I do is I get up and I sip. Like I make a hot water. It's not just boiling hot, but it's like a warm to hot water. And that helps wake up your digestion, especially like if you had some heavy food the night before or you have some undigested stuff in your system. Having that hot water is really going to help, but it's also going to wake you up and get you started on a good note. Period, point blank, end of story. Helps flush toxins, helps hydrate you faster than cold water. Cold water, actually, to all my US Americans and Western folk, or just anybody in general in the world, you don't have to be from the Western world, just anybody in general who is just pounding down ice water, what it does is it puts out the digestive fire. Not so good. Slows down digestion. Not a good thing. Even if you're pitta and you run really, really hot and you're like, oh, I just love that ice water or whatever, probably like a room temperature or just a slightly like lukewarm water would be good for flushing your system. Nothing that's going to make you overheat. I'm talking like a news reporter. Sorry about that. Let's talk normal now. So some of the things that I have put on my body today, even before I even have gone out into the world, like and contacted other people. Right now it's slightly windy and it's cold and it's wet. It's very humid in our climate here. But like if I went over to the other side of the state, it's going to be dry, windy, cold. I remember when I was a kid, like I wouldn't be able to feel my hands and my toes because I'm more Vata, like I said. And it would just aggravate me so much. I would just be in this state of like too cold. I'm setting this down for a moment because I'm going to bring you guys my little plate of things. So the things that I did on my body already was, I did an abhyanga, which is I took a blend. I made the blend myself. It was like an olive oil, body oil, and eucalyptus oil, which was in a base of sesame oil. Sesame oil is more warming, so if you're a pitta person, I'm not going to say you can't use it, but it's not really recommended per Ayurveda that you use that because it's warming. You want more cooling oils, and probably you don't want heavy oils on you because you probably feel like, ooh, I'm so sticky and so gross. So I made this little concoction myself because I've been living with a scientist and my chemistry side came to me. I won't say all my life, but for a really long time I've wanted to create skincare products, like holistic stuff. But in the meantime, between time, I've been supporting other people. My friend Maya, I met her years ago through a different friend, and she has her own skincare line. She's up in Seattle. But like this is aceto de eucalipto, which is eucalyptus oil. This is aceite de olivo clásico, which is olive oil, classic olive oil. These were from Mexico. I got these from a Mexican tienda, and then I bought them separately, and I was like, wait a second, when I got the Abhyanga oil from Banyan Botanicals years ago, when I first started doing self-massage, I remember like olive oil and sesame oil were in there. And I think even eucalyptus oil was in there as well. And then some other stuff. And I was using the Abhyanga oil, the body oil, massage oil for Vata, specifically because I'm Vata. And the reason why I'm sounding like kind of right now is because I'm shivering because of how cold it is out here. But I'm trying to also practice that inner heat. You know, you get that heat from here. I have a pretty warm core, but it's like getting that heat spread out, and you can do that through breath work. So Abhyanga self-massage, you're putting oil on your body, rubbing it in. Yeah, for women, breast massage. Breast massage is really, really good. Circular, motions and all that stuff. I think part of the biggest problem in the Western culture is the fact that a lot of women aren't educated on breast health and how to take care of themselves. And then it's like we're having all these tissue issues and cancer issues because of our environment and our toxins and our diet and lifestyle. Sorry for the noise, but it's cool. We're at the homestead, right? The cheeky homestead. Yeah. I find when I started doing breast massage, it's like all of this area that gets tense here. I tell massage therapists, I'm like, I don't have very big boobs, but I have muscle in here. And just in general, just for breast health, for what's there, massage is good. Yeah. Okay, but Abhyanga, oil your body, like lay somewhere comfortable and all that stuff. Lay in your undies or however you're going to do it, without your undies, whatever you're going to do, but massage all of your body with oil. And yes, you can take a shower afterwards, but you should probably towel off, like take a towel and get some of it off, because you don't want all that oil going down into your drain and then clogging it. Okay, so you also need to learn plumbing if you're going to start dealing with with Ayurvedic medicine, because there's going to be a lot of oil involved. Like, I have anointed myself today, like more proper than being at church. The first time I did Panchakarma, I really understood what anointing was after that, like being anointed with oil. Here in the US, somebody will do this. They'll take some oil and slap you on the head. It's too much. But no. An anointing oil, man, whew, top of your head to the soles of your feet. And they practice it in India. It's not called anointing, but they practice this massage. What's it called? It'll come to me. In Panchakarma, you get these oil massages. It'll come to me. So on that topic of Panchakarma, this is the time for Panchakarma, because it's the monsoon season. In our particular region, it's monsoon season. So the rains are here. It's going to help detoxify and move shit out of your system easier. That changing of season and everything, it just helps push out the toxins. If you're down in Central America or something like that, Caribbean or whatever, and it's also rainy season, same thing. If you have a rainy season period, it's a good time to get the out of your body. So how do you do that? Well, Panchakarma is one of the ways that you can do that. And how do you do that? Some people will figure out what are the therapies I need to take, and they'll self-administer. They'll do it at home. But you can also look up where your closest Ayurvedic centers are. You might have to travel to one, but it's money well invested. It's a process in which there's nothing like it in the Western world, and it's ancient. It's 5,000 years old. It's not something that just is a trend of I put together these powders and now I'm not constipated. It's not like that. But bless the people who are smart enough to invent things. I'm grateful for that somebody does invent things. They have a creative mind and they can invent things to help themselves and their health, because I think self-healing is really, really important. Really, really important. So back to it. Doing your Abhyanga in the morning, dinacharya, Dinacharya is like your routine, whether you're scraping your tongue, sipping that warm water, like I said. You could, you know, do some eye yoga, you could do regular yoga, you could do breath work, eating your meal at a regular time according to your constitution. You know, getting out for a walk. If you're more Vata or Pitta, you like maybe get out for a walk and really enjoy the slowness of the season, as the doctor was just saying. Even on a day-to-day basis, like it's good for Vata to have a walk because it grounds that energy. So this is the time of year where things are going to speed up for holiday time in the Western world, but it's good to slow down. Really good to slow down. Dinacharya is like a daily routine, like oral routine, for example, like I said, was scraping the tongue, doing oil pulling. There's another thing that I learned that in the Western world, it's very destructive, which is like kind of like gagging yourself, because usually if somebody's doing that, it's usually a sign that they have an eating disorder. On the positive side, this last time I was in India and Nepal, I learned that kind of gagging helps to get accumulated trapped toxins like moving and out, and helps to cleanse your system. So it's done destructively in the West, but it's actually good for you to help, you know, with your cleansing process. What else? Part of my routine that I didn't used to practice this, but now I like won't skip it, is oil, especially as a Vata person, is oilating my scalp. Now, a Pitta person might be like, ew, gross, still too much oil on me. Again, lightweight oil, only go to what you need. But like for me, my head is a constant antenna for information and ideas and all that stuff. And it's just like, I gotta have that grounding. I remember reading somewhere years ago that like, and it's sad because I'm gonna say something where I feel kind of like it sucks about my culture, is that my culture is quite cold and people don't like, those that do try to offer you to touch you or like want something else from you. And so it's kind of sad, and maybe some of y'all's culture, you can relate to that, but it's not like this one of like, let me nurture you and take care of you, and not like. So by the way, when you say molestar in Spanish, it means to disturb. In US, we say molest. And that usually means like you violated somebody and touched them in a way you shouldn't have. Inappropriately, and it could be, typically when they use it, it's like somebody older who's touched somebody younger. But in Spanish, molestar means like, no me molestar, don't disturb me, right? Don't bother me. And sorry for using that terminology, but so blanked out. Making sure that the mind is like, you know, it's grounded and it's like protected and everything like that is like why you want to oiliate the scalp and not let the mind get disturbed. Don't let the mind, once the mind becomes disturbed. I loved seeing this. I needed it so badly because the last couple of years life sped up so bad. I was relying on technology so much. I was trying to travel vlog and everything, and I'm like, God, I'm such a failure because I can't hit my certain goals. I can't do this, I can't do that. But the thing about somebody who's more Vata, and during the Vata season when you need to kind of chill out, is that detaching, digital detoxing, not staying up and watching things at late night. That has been a really hard one for me because I'm like, how am I going to get in, you know, how am I going to get on track? How am I going to catch up? But it makes it worse to stay up at late night and worry. And I remember even an astro mentor down in California, Jamie, she said to me, she's like, don't stay up at late night watching like your videos. Sounds to me like some chicken stuff's going on. But yeah, like don't disturb your mind more. Now, another thing that's really common that disturbs Vata, again, it's like we say that we're going during the holidays. You know why you feel so depressed and so anxious and so overwhelmed and tired and like, what the hell is going on during the holidays? Because there is this going, and it's actually a season where you're supposed to slow down. And then, for example, here in the US, because of we have to keep life going, like, and we're international and we're world reaching, you know, we're sending out airplanes, boats, cars, like all sorts of things, buses, like we're sending out all sorts of stuff all the time. People are going because there's travel all the time. And the same thing with everybody else in the world who has an airport. You know, we're like, we just have stuff moving all the time. And when that stuff starts to increase during the holiday times, it's like the reason for Ayurveda is to put yourself in balance with nature, and we're countering nature. We're doing the opposite of that. We're like, screw you, nature. We're going to go fast, and we're going to do all these things. Like, we're going to eat all these things that are like going to clog our system up, you know. At least in the Western world, US America, to be US, like US United States, you know, to be specific. I'm not quite sure about the other Western countries. Yeah, so this is a good time of year to slow it down. Self-massage, great idea. Get massage, period, especially if you're a Vata, excuse me. As I was saying about the whole like doing the scalp massage thing, when I was reading about the overstimulating the mind and disturbing the mind, or what was good for Vata, helping Vata, was not disturbing the mind with staying up late, watching things late, too much technology, like kind of slowing that down and eliminating it more to have a better result. What was the other thing? It's gonna come back to me. Massage, just massage in general, not just the head massage, but the body massage. So good because it just grounds you. A Vata person constantly feels, at least I do, especially in today's modern time where everybody's two-faced. Everybody's two-faced. I think even before technology, people were two-faced. But now people aren't just two-faced. They have 1,000 faces because they have 1,000 tabs open in their devices. And I'm guilty of this, right? Because that's kind of like where technology has brought us, to the point where we're like asking our devices questions all the time rather than having conversations with people. Those are the people who are in the tech-heavy cultures. I'm not blaming every culture, because some cultures and some people I know, especially the older generation, they're like, we think that's dumb and that's too much and it's too complicated. And yes, trust me, technology has a time, it has its place, because we wouldn't make the changes in history or in our health or in our society or in our civilization if we didn't have technology. You know what I mean? It amazes me. I think what would be a cooler conversation to have would be like, have a conversation with people who actually invent it, who are actually, their minds, you know, God gave them some sort of download and their mind created something, you know, whether it was individually or collectively. Anyways, that's how Vata mind works. Vata is very like curious, and like we're thinking about all sorts of things. We're all over the place. Because it's that fall season and winter season, I like you, let's bring it all back. Another oil, this is a aromatherapy oil. This has nothing to do with like anointing yourself, but I do this all the time with eucalyptus oil. I don't necessarily have like, what's it called? Like some people you get, I was born with asthma actually. I wasn't like breathing when I was born. So like trying to remain calm and breathe and all that stuff is actually, to this day, it's still something that's really necessary, and making sure I get enough air is really necessary. But eucalyptus oil, somebody can correct me, but I feel like this one opens up your airways. And those of you who are more kapha and you tend to get, you know, colds, flus, bronchitis, you know, like these phlegmy disorders and mucousy disorders, like you need, this time of year specifically, this is why I will tell you to leave and snowbird and go somewhere else. I will tell you to go to desert. I will tell you to go to beach. Do something, just get away from this season because it aggravates kapha. Unless you have something to offset it, like pitta, it aggravates you. I met a man the other day, he was pitta, like we were foraging in the forest for mushrooms, sharp, keen, like he was seeing things that were right in front of my face the entire time, but my scattered Vata energy is just like, we're just trying to take a walk so we can ground ourselves because we don't really know where we're at. But he could communicate to me, you know, what he was seeing and what he was finding, but he had this very grounded energy to him, and that's how I knew he was a pitta kapha. You know what I'm saying? So if you have kapha, it's fine. I mean, the way that you're going to counter all of it and be able to kind of maintain in the winter is pitta. If you're Vata kapha, you're probably like my mother, probably like my mentor Kate. You don't live here during this time of year. Period. Point blank. End of story. It's not your thing. But yeah. Important for kapha people, you need to keep your airways open, you need to stay warm, and you need to stay dry. And you need to do this no matter what place you live. Period, point blank, needs to be your thing. One of the things I got in trouble with this last year, being displaced and really realizing like, I don't know how to survive and get resources, like, was I kept wearing my boots. I was wearing my boots too much. And then one thing I was violating in nature, and some of you might do this too, is that your shoes get moist or you sweat or something like that and you don't dry your toenails out enough. So then my toenails started to get decay on them. You know, so that's like something during the monsoon season. One Ayurvedic mentor from the Sattvic movement was saying, during monsoon season, don't let your feet get wet. What else? Yeah, these are some things that, especially for kapha, but that's for everybody. Keep your feet dry. Yeah. What else? One thing I've been doing lately is I've been doing castor oil. I haven't learned how to take it internally yet. I haven't been doing castor oil packs. I know about them, like the term, but I don't know what they are. I take labels off my stuff, but this one didn't work. Because I just don't like all the words. It's just one of those things, like my mind is already overloaded with information, so labels just like, but my eyes have been dry, and I remember reading in an Ayurvedic beauty book that you could put a castor oil in your eyes. Just make sure it's clean, obviously. But I was re-listening to a doctor this morning on, see if I can pronounce it correctly. Shloka, is that the name of the YouTube channel? Shloka was interviewing a doctor about the science of fasting and Ayurvedic diet and stuff like that. And she was asking all sorts of questions, and she said castor oil on the eyes. And there was another source I was tapping into the other day. I think I was tapping into Ayurvedic eye exercises because I have become relying on my devices too much, and I'm looking at it too much. Like not looking things, I'm not reading books as much as I used to. I'm not looking people in the eye as much as I used to. That used to be uncomfortable for me. But yeah, just that irritation. I finally am like, okay. I remember several years ago they told us in yoga school, they're like, do eye exercises. And then, like, for example, let's just say that you don't have any eye drops near you. I don't really trust American eye drops. I just find the quality is not there. When I was in India, I found the best eye drops I ever experienced in my life, and I put those in my eyes, and I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. It was like kind of burned a little bit, but not in a bad way. And then super clear, super fresh afterwards. I'll see if I can find those eye drops and then link them up. So if you guys are interested in finding them, perhaps you can. There's a lot of Ayurvedic products that have been brought stateside, so perhaps you can find some. If not, maybe you can like get some info for like a bulk order. But yeah, castor oil. This is one of the things I do believe you can take for internal oleation. If I didn't already say internal oleation, that is something you should be doing in this season. Oh, bring my thing back. So this is actually like cup of coffee because I ate late last night, and so I kind of had indigestion this morning. But I put coconut oil in this. I actually made this coffee with the masala spices, like the spices that you'd use for masala chai, which when you guys say chai tea, you mean masala chai. When you go to an Indian restaurant, you're like, can I have a chai tea? No, you can have a masala chai. That's what you're going to get. But yeah, bringing it all back together. Internal oleation, this is one way you can get it, through your beverages, which we call it bulletproofing our coffee in US. But in US, we're more doing it because we're trying to tame down the acid. But in India, the reason why you're going to take this oil in, because you want to oleate yourself. Because as the doctor said, and I'll link up the video that I watched today so you guys can listen to it if you'd like to. We're like machines, right? And a machine has to be oiled. And so that's why you want to take some oil. You can do it in your drinks, or like, for example, when I make dal tadka. Dal tadka is not something that a pitta person really wants to eat because it's too much of spices, not necessarily spicy spice, not like heat, but just the flavors and everything is too pungent or like too strong for a pitta person who needs just plain food. But for kapha and vata people, dal tadka is like medicine to the gut. And when you finish making that dal tadka, you can drizzle on a few more teaspoons of ghee, and that's a great way to get that oleation into your body. Now, one thing I have learned is don't make it too spicy. Make it more. Kapha people can have that heavy spice because you have such a weak digestion that helps to. It's like something that like pushes the, I don't know, is that like the pistons when you're driving? It's like something that fires. It gets that fire going so the machine can actually do its job and move. Vata also has a very delicate digestion. By the way, each of the constitutions, or the doshas, I'm sorry, your constitution, I think, is more of like, I'm a Vata Pitta. That's what I'm comprised of. That's what I'm constituted of. I think that's the difference. A dosha is like the three doshas, Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, which we'll need to explain what those things mean. But one thing I will say is, as I'm throwing out these terms loosely, Kapha people, more sluggish. You're ruling the baby time of our life, the time where we're like infants or we're like younger, we can't take care of ourselves, somebody has to help us. Vata people, slower digestion or weaker digestion because you represent the older age of life, right? So you have to have warm, nourishing, easy to digest food. And then same thing with a baby. Baby also has to have easy to digest food. Pitta people, you're more like the adults, the logical thinkers, the leaders, take control people, and you can have that dry food, that dry, sorry, I didn't mean to say dry, I meant to say cold, rough, raw food. But yeah, just to talk about digestion and how it's relating, and why we want to internally oleate and lubricate ourselves. Some of you are going to giggle and be like, lubrication, yeah, because you only know about it in the sexual way, and that's not the only way you can lubricate yourself. Like your joints and stuff like that can benefit from lubrication, right? So put it on your skin, take it in your body. I'm sure there's some other ways to keep your joints strong, like weight resistance, and then maybe other things in your diet that you can have. But yes, these are some of the things that I do in my routine now that never even used to exist. And there is like an actual scientific, thousands of year old reason why you practice it. Do I have to do it religiously as a Vata? Kind of got to practice it very regularly because my system is so wiry. Even as the wind is sitting here blowing on me, I'm disturbed. Like, I'm just like, ugh. The Pitta side of me is like, hang in there, you're strong, you're hot inside, and you need something to cool you down. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. When I said the scalp oil, I forgot what the name of this stuff is. There's Hindi written on it. but this is cooling. When I was in India and my pitta was shooting up and I was really overheated, one of the guy friends I made out there, he said, take this, and he's like, and rub it in your scalp and it'll cool your scalp down. This oil a friend made, this is actually not the one she made, this is me taking an oil that I found at the beauty store and has tea tree in it. I can't remember if this was made with sesame. I feel like it was, but the reason why I said tea tree, and you could even do tea tree drops, is just because it's it would be like stimulating and cleansing and you know, antifungal, yeah, and just to freshen up the scalp. So that's an oil you could use in your scalp. Yeah, these are the things I wanted to share with you. I think I covered a whole lot of things. Then, you know, for those of us who are more Vata or Kapha, make sure you're eating and drinking things that are warming or spicy. Vata, more like warming. Kapha, spicy food. Eat things according to the season. That's just a rule for all of the doshas. So the doshas are the 3 different types of, I guess you could say, body classifications and characteristics in the world, in our existence. And those who are more pitta are fiery and water. Those who are kapha are more earth and water. And those who are vata are ether and space. Ether and air or space, something like that. So we're gone with the wind. You know what I'm saying? Vatas run cold in their hands and their feet, need grounding, they need warmth, serenity, they need that cocoon feeling, you know, gentleness, slowness. Kapha needs to be like, I don't want to say aggressed, but they can handle aggression and won't even blink. They're heavy sleepers, they're heavy bodies, they get mucus, they can be tend to colds and flus and mucusy kind of disorders. When it's imbalanced, it could be depressed or attached, or attached and greedy and not changing, lazy. But energy is sustained. Like if you get up and you go and you do your thing and all that stuff. Like there's a dance instructor I had this last week, and she just had a solid body, solid booty, all these things. And I think her class is tonight. And I could tell she could just keep going with her dance because she didn't have any air disorders like I do. Whereas like too much air is going on, so too much fast movement starts to irritate me. Unless it's shown to me very, very slowly. Like I think the reason why I had a problem with drill team and dance and all that stuff growing up was because it was something I had to learn really quickly. And my Vata, at that time, I didn't understand it. I just had to accept that I was not going to be chosen because I couldn't keep up. Same thing with me playing violin. It was too fast, too many movements and all that stuff. My brain couldn't compute it, right? So that's why I chose to switch to singing. So yeah, this is something that is like, if you know what your Ayurvedic constitution is, your primary doshas that you're dealing with, it can really help to put you in balance and help you out. I think I was saying some other things, but I think you get the point of everything I've shared this morning. Hope it helps you. I'm sure having a point of contact on your forehead can be very beneficial. That I know of. The doctor was saying, like, castor oil, you could put that on your the crown of your head, you know, and rub that in, because she said the brain is like a nerve, and you got to soothe that nerve. There's a therapy in Ayurveda known as Shirodhara, and I've had Shirodhara done twice, or 3 times, I'm sorry. Probably every time, I'm sorry, that I've done Panchakarma, which I've done Panchakarma now like 4 or 5 times, and I tried different facilities. Like, I've tried many facilities. Like, if you guys want to know what I was doing when I was in India, I was just spending money, fantastic, trying to learn about receiving these therapies. And now we're back in USA being like, you gotta like learn to earn now. But yeah, I hope these things have helped you. Another way you can stay warm and grounded during this time of year, for those of you like Kapha, who are more like You need to wear warm colors. Those of you who are Vata, wear some warm colors because it will just instantly change things. Listen to some music that's like, whoo, yeah, it's super upbeat and super happy. Like, do something like that. Okay? I hope this helps you as Brittany travels the world, and I hope you guys have a great fall. Stay, like I said, stay warm, stay dry. Practice dinacharya, keep a routine, detoxify your body this season, and and moving forward every few months do it, and you could do it twice a year too. But I just think in general, clean out the bugs in your body, clean out undigested matter, toxins, anything like that. Stimulate new growth of cells and tissues and things like that. Get the disease out of your body. You can do that yourself. You could do that and you don't have to wait until something goes wrong. You don't always have to go to the doctor for some medicine that you don't even understand what it's going to do to you or what it's even made out of, right? Self-care, massage, body massage, oiliate, lubricate your system. Don't forget to keep your thermos with you. Like when I was in India and anywhere I travel, period, this is always with me. I was on a train coming back from California last year, and I think that's where I was. The train, the snack cart attendant, I was like, can I have hot water, please? And he's like, yeah. And I don't know if he asked me like why I do that or whatever, or he just volunteered information, which was that the other passengers that would ask for that was Chinese people. And I was like, that's exactly who I got the information from. It's Chinese medicine, and I also know it to be Ayurvedic wisdom now. Sip. Those of you who are more pitta, you're more hot. Lukewarm, room temperature water is better for you. Have it as hot as you can handle, right? But for Vata kaphas, you definitely need to have warm to like hot water. Pack it around with you. And the last thing I didn't really touch on, but I think I did touch on it. Spice your foods. Spice your foods according to your constitution. For Vata kaphas, during this time, you're going to want to warm things up, right? And Pitta people, you can still have spices, but they're going to be like the more bland spices, right? So anyways, Brittany travels the world. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And if you have more questions about Ayurveda, then feel free to reach out. I'll tag all the sources that I have mentioned today, and then you're welcome. Please like, comment, subscribe, and show your support. And then we'll see you next time. Okay, see you down the road.